Given that a is equals to 3a squared over 4b and b is 2a over 9b cubed, find the values of a, b. So a times b. Now we are given that a is equals to 3a squared over 4b, right? So that's the value of a, and b value is 2a over 9b cubed. So I'm just given this. So when I want to find what's the value of capital A times capital B, so my A values and B values are respectively as such. So I'm going to just throw them in. 3A squared over 4B, which is actually the value of A, times by the value of B, which is 2A over 9B cubed, right? So 9B to the power of 3. So now the next step, we're going to just arrange all the numbers together. So 3. And since it's a multiplication, so 3 times 2, because the 3 and the 2, they were both on the numerator side. So I'm putting them together on the numerator. And the 4 and the 9 are on the denominator, so I put them in the denominator. So I got a 4 times 9. Now I'm still left with the a squared and the a for the numerator, and b times b cubed on the denominator. So I'm just going to write a squared times, there's another a here. So times a to the power of 1 over b means there's a b to the power of 1, right? So b to the power of 1 is still b, and we have got a b to the power of 3, so we're going to write that here, okay, b cubed. So now we can actually start to simplify the numbers so that we can get a very nice small number. So the 3 and the 9 you can cancel because there's 1 3. You can of course cancel the numerator and the denominator. So you can't cancel the numerator or denominator and denominator. So be careful about that. So 3 you cancel with a 3 by a 3. So 3 divided by 3 is a 1, and 9 if you divide by 3, that's going to give you a 3. And what about the 2 and the 4? Is there any common factor that we can cancel with? Of course we can cancel with the 2. So 2 if we cancel with the 2, so 2 divided by 2 is a 1, and 4 if we divide by 2 is the 2. So what we have on the numerator is a 1 times a 1, and in the denominator we have 2 times a 3. So numerator is going to be 1 times 1, that's a 1, and denominator has got a 2 times 3, and that's of course going to become a 6, and there is a multiplication. So what about this? A squared means a times another a. So there is altogether how many a's? A times a times a is altogether a to the power of 3. So a squared means a squared plus this 1. So that's a simpler way to do it. A to the power of 2 times a to the power of 1, because a times a times a is basically we can just simply add up the powers. Power 2 plus power 1, which is 2 plus 1, that's a 3. So how about the powers for the b? So what we're going to do? Okay, so make a guess. Okay, so when we had the power 2 and the power 1, we just simply added them together if the bases are the same. This is the rule of indices. So for b and a b, the base is the same, so we can also similarly add up the powers together. So this b means just a b to the power of 1 means just a b. B cubed means b times b times b. So there is altogether b, and there is another 3 more b's here, so there will be 4 b's altogether, right? B times b times b times b times, So you just write b to the power of, there's a 1, and there's a plus another 3. So now we could simplify this. So 1 over 6, there's nothing further that you can reduce, so it's still going to be 1 over 6 times, this is a to the power of 2 plus 1, which is a to the power of 3, divided by b to the power of 1 plus a 3, which is of course b to the power of 4. And of course when we are doing algebraic expression, we no need to put the multiplication symbol. 1 times a cube is simply going to become a cube on the numerator, divided by 6 times b to the power of 4 becomes 6b to the power of 4 on the denominator. So that's how we evaluate ab, right? So a times b has been done. So now let's go for a divided by b. Let's look at how we can solve that. So again we're going to do the substitution. So a divided by b means we are going to write down the value of a, which is 3a squared over 4b, then divided by the value of b, which is 2a over 9b cubed. So 2a over 9b cubed. Now when we are dealing with fractions in a division, so we can change the division symbol to a multiplication symbol, and then we can swap the fraction, right? So we change this division symbol to a multiplication, and we can swap the fractions. Okay, so the denominator becomes the numerator and the numerator became the denominator. Okay, so that's the first step that you need to do. Then of course the next step would be to group all the numbers together and all the alphabets together. So we're going to write the 3 and then times 9, which is also on the numerator, over in the denominator we have got a 4 times and there's a 2 there. So we will write that. And then now let's go for a. So we have got a squared. So we're just going to write the a squared. And is there any a's in the denominator side? Of course there's a a here, right? So you can write it as a to the power of 1 since there is only one a, right? And what about the b? So there's a b here, there's a b here. So we're going to write the b cube, which is on the numerator. So that's your b cube on the numerator, and we're going to divide that by, there is a b, which means b to the power of 1 on the denominator. So we have regrouped them, numbers together and a's together and b's together. Now we are ready to start applying rule of indices to simplify this expression. Now is there anything that I can cancel with the numbers? Okay, 3 cannot be cancelled with a 4 or 2, so there's no way to simplify. What about 9? 9 also cannot be simplified. So therefore you have no choice. So we got to just multiply the numerator together. 3 times 9 is going to become 27. 4 times 2 is going to become 8. So in the numerator we're going to write 27, and in the denominator 4 times 2, that's a 8 times. Now if it is a division, right, what we would do is for multiplication we added the powers. If the base is the same, for division we will subtract the power. A squared means a times a on the numerator. A to the power of 1 means there is just a on the denominator. Of course we can cancel one of the a's, which is the same as just taking a to the power of 2 and then we minus away a to the power of 1. So which is, numerator power, subtract away the denominator power. So how about for the b? Okay, there's a multiplication, so I just copy down. So this is going to be, b is the same, the base is the same, so we're going to subtract the powers. So the numerator power, that's a 3 minus the denominator power of 1. Then all the rest we need to do is just to simplify. So 27 over 8, there's nothing further to simplify, so I'm just going to write that down, times a to the power of 2. If you subtract the 1, 2 minus 1 is simply going to become a to the power of 1, times b to the power of 3 minus 1, that's of course 2. So it is simply 27 over 8 times a to the power of 1 times b to the power of 2. And of course in algebraic expression we need not write the multiplication, so we can just put the symbols, the alphabets together. So we can write 27. A means it's a over 1, right? So you can just bring it down as the numerator. So a to the power of 1 is a and b squared is a b, and the 8 is in the denominator, we just throw it in the denominator. So the answer becomes 27ab to the power of 2 over 8. So that leaves option C as the correct answer.